The United States slapped Japan right in the face and said, "Don't touch our steel." The Biden administration stepped in and stopped the merger of Nippon Steel from Japan and their acquisition of US Steel from the United States. The company US Steel employs about 21,000 people, and it looks like even they wanted this merger to take place. But Biden said he did not want something so crucial as one of our largest steel producers to be in the hands of a foreign firm. Which is crazy because Japan is one of our biggest trading partners and a crucial ally. They are a NATO partner, and they hold the most US debt, much more than China, over $300 billion more. I'm going to get down into some of the crazy history behind US Steel, but first, a fun fact. Japan's Nippon Steel is the world's third largest steel producer, and that name, Nippon, is just the native name of Japan, Nippon. Back to US Steel because it's nuts. US Steel, owned by Andrew Carnegie, was the world's largest corporation and he was the world's wealthiest man. But he sold it to Wall Street for $480 million in 1901. $480 million was such an unfathomable number because no deal in the world's history has ever come close to this. You might think, oh, it's $480 million. If you put that in an inflation calculator, that just totals $17 billion today. Not at all. The United States GDP in 1901 was $22.9 billion. That $480 million that US Steel was sold for in 1901 was 2% of our country's GDP. 2% of our GDP today is over $550 billion. If you look at the sale of any company before or since, nothing has come close to that price. And that was only about 30% of the value of US Steel. The total market cap back then would be worth today about $1.74 trillion, which puts US Steel's total market cap up there with Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon. Except even those metrics don't show the weight of US Steel because it was the first billion-dollar company. It was the highest market cap company on the planet. US Steel at the time would have easily toppled something like Apple or Google's dominance for this reason. 1901 steel was even more important than oil, and US Steel accounted for 67% of all the steel production in the United States. That was about 30% of global steel production. Compare this to Apple. While US Steel accounted for 2/3 of all steel production in the country and about 30% of the world's steel production, compare that to Apple. They are in the, consumer electronics and telecommunications sectors. So they account for about 30% of production of that material and only 15 to 18% of the world's production. So US Steel clearly was a level of magnitude higher than what Apple is today. Now, today, US Steel is a pale, distant whisper of an echo compared to what it was. Their market cap now is about $6.9 billion, but they were going to be purchased for $14.9 billion. That's why it was looked upon by both parties so favorably. So the steel industry lost almost all of its prominence, at least economically, but strategically, it's still vital. In 1901, there were very few countries that could produce high-grade steel, but now almost every country can do it. Right now, China produces between 54 to 56% of the world's steel, so why not just have it done there where it's much cheaper and they don't care about destroying the environment like we kind of do. But the US, in both defense and other practical applications, wants to have control over how their own steel is made. That's why the steel industry still exists here, why we still make some of the best steel on the planet, maybe at the level of Germany and Japan. Maybe. Now, I'm sure US Steel and Nippon Steel will try to have this merger done again. I doubt it's going to happen during the Biden administration because he has very little time. And my opinion, I don't think the Trump administration is going to look upon it favorably because we most likely want to hold on to our significant resources and make sure nobody else owns it. But only time will tell. Let's see what happens. I am the Geo Husar. Feel free to follow me. And if you found this post useful, give this link a click. Thanks for watching.